Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me?
Now would you leave me if your father found out I was thugging? Do you believe me when I tell you, you the one I'm loving? Are you mad cause I'm asking you 21 questions? Are you my soulmate? Cause if so, girl, you're a blessing. Do you trust me enough to tell me your dreams? I'm staring at you trying to figure how you got them jeans. If I was down, would you say things to make me smile? I treat you how you wanna be treated, just teach me how. If I was with some other chick and someone happened to see, and when you asked me about it, I said it wasn't me, would you believe me or up and leave me? How deep is our bond if that's all it takes for you to be gone? We only humans, girl, we make mistakes. To make it up, I do whatever it takes. I love you like a fat kid love cake. You know my style, I say anything to make you smile.
Girl, it's easy to love me now. Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me? Girl, it's easy to love me now. Would you love me if I was down and out? Would you still have love for me? Could you love me in a girl? Could you love me on a bus? I'll ask 21 questions, and they all about us. Could you love me in a bed? Could you love me on a bus? I'll ask 21 questions, and they all about us.
You all appreciate it. When I was young, me and my mama had beef. 17 years old, kicked out on the streets. Though back at the time, I never thought I'd see her face. Ain't a woman alive that could take my mama's place. Suspended from school, I'm scared to go home. I was a fool with the big boys, breaking all the rules. Shed tears with my baby sister. Over the years, we was poor than other little kids. And even though we had different daddies, the same drama when things went wrong, we blame mama. I reminisce on the stress I caused. It was hell, hugging on my mama from a jail cell. And who thinking elementary? Hey, I see the penitentiary one day. Running from the police, that's right. Mama catch me, put a whooping to my backside. And even as a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen, mama. I finally understand for a woman it ain't easy trying to raise a man. You always was committed, a poor single mother on welfare. Tell me how you did it, there's no way I can pay you back. But the plan is to show you that I understand. You all appreciate it.
Don't you know we love you, sweet
Dear mama,
place no one above you, sweet
you all appreciate it.
Don't you know we love you?
Now ain't nobody tell us it was fair. No love for my daddy cause the coward wasn't there. He passed away and I didn't cry cause my anger wouldn't let me feel for a stranger. They say I'm wrong and I'm heartless, but all along I was looking for a father, he was gone. I hung around with the thugs, and even though they sold drugs, they showed a young brother love. I moved out and started really hanging. I needed money of my own, so I started slanging. I ain't guilty cause even though I sell rocks, it feels good putting money in your mailbox. I love paying rent when the rent's due. I hope you got the diamond necklace that I sent to you. Cause when I was low, you was there for me. You never left me alone because you cared for me. And I can see you coming home after work late. You're in the kitchen trying to fix us a hot plate. You're just working with the scraps you was given. And mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. But now the road got rough, you're alone. You're trying to raise two bad kids on your own. And there's no way I can pay you back. But my plan is to show you that I understand. You all appreciate it.
Don't you know we love you, sweet
And dear mama,
place no one above you, sweet
you all appreciate it.
Don't you know we love you?
Pour out some liquor and I reminisce. focus. Cause through the drama I can always depend on my mama. And when it seems that I'm hopeless, you say the words that can get me back in focus. When I was sick as a little kid, to keep me happy there's no limit to the things you did. And all my childhood memories are full of all the sweet things you did for me. And even though I act crazy, I gotta thank the Lord that you made me. There are no words that can express how I feel. You never kept a secret, always stayed real. And I appreciate how you raised me, and all the extra love that you gave me. I wish I could take the pain away. If you can make it through the night, there's a brighter day. Everything will be alright if you hold on. It's a struggle every day, gotta roll on. And there's no way I can pay you back, but my plan is to show you that I understand. You all appreciate it.
Don't you know we love you, sweet
Dear mama,
place no one above you, sweet
you all appreciate it.
Don't you know we love you, sweet
And dear mama, dear mama,
Fool, you know how we do it. West side, coming from the west side. Nothing but the west side. Ain't nothing going on but the bomb rap song hitting all night long. Just like me on the black and white ivory, getting 6 on a T-League. You don't wanna see a G break your toes like dishes. Buster us the tricks, sleep with the fishes, running from Lennox up at Venice. They wanna have me in stripes like Dennis the Menace, but that ain't poppin', ain't no stopping. Faux hopping, ass dropping, coup the bill. My truth can heal. Fool, I got skills. So back on up, boy, check that chin down, and I'm full off hand. You gets no love, and I thought you knew it. Fool, you know how we do it. Coming from the west side, coming from the west side. Chilling with the homies, smelling the bud. Double park, then I'm talking to Dub about who got a plan, who got a plot, who got, and who got shot. Cause everybody knows that he got the info. Crazy tunes hanging out the window. Fool, I got them bomb tapes, the lynch mob, planet of the apes. I'm down with 8, and what's up? Cam and Solo, they got nuts. When Ice Cube write a sentence, I want the bomb. Just like George Clinton, SKP is down to catch a body, put on knee deep. We'll turn out your party. It gets no love, and I thought you knew it. Fool, you know how we do it. Jack me on a lick, cause I'm that fool from South Central. You think you stuck yourself with a number 2, so that's how I poke hot lead in yo. With more bounce to the ounce in the dash, mash up Van Ness, headed for the west. Everything is great, slow down for the depth on 108, keep mashing. Don't drink and drive to keep the foe from crashing. Stashing the clock, and I thought you knew it. You know how we do it. West side. Nothing but a west side. It's hitting on the west side.
all a bunch of fucking assholes. You know why? You don't have the guts to...
I was about to start the show, but I can't turn this song off.
People like me. You need
People like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say that's the bad guy.
I thank the Lord for my many blessings.
I'll be the bad guy, I don't mind.
For protection from the barrel of a Smith & Wesson. And all my niggas in the pen, here we go again. Ain't nothing separating us but my Mac 10. Born in the ghetto as a hustler. Hold up, straight soldier. Bucking at the busters. No matter how you try, niggas never die. We just retaliate with hate, then we multiply. See me striking down the block, King Kong.
Yeah, I'm up $50 on the Pay Lou movement this week after last night.
Motherfucker crime pays. Let the cops put their lights on. Chase me nigga zigzagging through the freeway. Race me nigga.
I hit a couple of baseball games yesterday. I hit TCU minus whatever it was. That was 3 wins, and then I lost the chat bet. The chat voted on under 55 points, and it went over. So I was 3-1 yesterday.
Everybody gotta die. Everybody say goodbye to the bad guy.
So you can point your fucking fingers and say that's the bad guy.
Ain't no escape from a deadly fate. And every day there's a million black bodies put away. I'm starting to lose hope. It seems everybody's on dope. Mama told me to leave cause she was broke. Sometimes I choke on the endo, creeping out the window. Alone on my own, I'm a criminal. Got no love from the household. I'm out cold on the street screaming motherfucker peace.
Come on, man. Come on, man. That's Tupac, man. Come on.
I wonder when they kill me, is there heaven for a real G? Lord, forgive me if you feel me. Cause all my life I was dirt broke. With no hope, little skinny motherfucker wanting dope. I hated cutting suckers with my razor blade. But every day is a struggle to get major pay. Say goodbye to the bad guy. Everybody gotta die.
That North Carolina game, that's one of the worst. I've watched a lot of football week 0 and then the last 5 days of week 1. I've watched a lot of football. That North Carolina team's one of the worst I've seen. They're really bad.
Fingers and say that's the bad guy.
The only way to change me is maybe blow my brains out. Stuck in the middle of the game to get the pain out. Pray to my God every day, but he don't listen. The poverty bothers me. But mama's working wonders in the kitchen. Listen, knocking, they were crying in the bedroom. Praying for money, will never get what she be dead.
DJ me, mama.
Am I wrong for wishing I was somewhere else? At 13, can't feed myself. Can I blame daddy cause he left me? Wish he would've hugged me too much like him. So my mama don't love me on my own at an early age. I'm getting paid and I'm strapped so I never be afraid.
Yeah, you go out and hire Bill Belichick. You pay him $10 million a year. The fans show up, pack the stadium for the first game of the year at home. And 5 minutes into the third quarter, everybody's leaving. I mean, that's bad.
Everybody gotta die.
You're all a bunch of fucking assholes.
Say goodbye to the bad guy. Everybody gotta
You don't have the guts to be what you want to be.
say goodbye to the bad guy. Everybody
need people like me.
Everybody gotta die. Everybody say goodbye.
Hey, Octavian, can I ask you something? Or any other Florida fans that's in here. How come when I go to these Florida pages where it's just Florida people, they're complaining about the game against Epstein Island? What are you not telling us, buddy? Why do you come on here and pretend like y'all are going 1,000,000-0, but when I go to these Florida pages, they're all bitching and moaning about how there's no plays downfield and no passes downfield, and we can't do this and we can't do that, and we can't block Long Island. What's up with that, bud?
Stiffen up that upper lip. What you crying about? You got me. Hey,
Is that true, Octavian?
and I know you miss your dad when I'm gone, but I'm trying to give you the life that I never had. I can see you sad, even when you smile, even when you laugh. I can see it in your eyes. Deep inside, you wanna cry, cause you're scared. I ain't there, daddy's with you in your prayers. No more crying, wipe them tears. Daddy's here, no more nightmares. We gon' pull together through it, we gon' do it. Laney uncle's crazy, ain't he? Yeah, but he loves you, girl, and you better know it. We're all we got in this world. When it spins, when it swirls, when it whirls, when it twirls. Two little beautiful girls looking puzzled in a daze. I know it's confusing you, you. Daddy's always on the move, mama's always on the news. I try to keep you sheltered from it, but somehow it seems the harder that I try to do that, the more it backfires on me. All the things growing up as daddy that he had to see. Daddy don't want you to see, but you see just as much as he did. We did not plan it to be this way, your mother and me, but things have got so bad between us. I don't see us ever being together ever again, like we used to be when we was teenagers. But then of course everything always happens for a reason. I guess it was never meant to be, but it's just something we have no control over, and that's what destiny is. But no more worries, rest your head and go to sleep. Maybe one day we'll wake up and this'll all just be a dream.
Now hush, little baby, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be alright. Stiffen that upper lip up, little lady. I told ya, daddy's here to hold ya through the night. I know mommy's not here right now.
I don't know about Lagway having a noodle arm, but that Gio Lopez for North Carolina, holy shit, that guy's got no arm at all. I mean, he can't throw a 10-yard out route. North Carolina is bad.
I'll never forget that Christmas. I sat up the whole night crying cause daddy...
Like, I know we've been clowning Alabama and all that, and they played bad, but like with Alabama, it was clearly like a lack of effort, lack of intensity. Like, you could tell they're talented. You watch North Carolina, there's just no talent there.
And stole it, and I know it hurt so bad it broke your mama's heart, and it seemed like everything was just starting to fall apart. Mom and dad...
Jason Whitlock's a giant fucking clown, but he's dead on the money. I saw that too. Jason Whitlock's an idiot, but he's dead on the money with what he's saying about Alabama.
You and mama had to leave me, then you started seeing daddy on the TV, and mama didn't like it, and you and Laney were too young to understand it. Papa was a rolling stone, mama developed a habit, and it all happened too fast for either one of us to grab it. I'm just sorry you were there and had to witness it firsthand, cause all I ever wanted to do was just make you proud. Now I'm sitting in this empty house, just reminiscing, looking at your baby pictures. It just trips me out to see how much you both have grown. It's almost like your sisters now. Wow, I guess you pretty much are, and daddy's still here. Laney, I'm talking to you too. Daddy's still here. I like the sound of that chair. It's got a ring to it, don't it? Shh, mama's only gone for the moment.
Now hush, little baby, don't you cry. Everything's gonna be alright. Stiffen that upper lip up, little lady. I told ya, daddy's here to hold ya through the night. I know mommy's not here.
No, I didn't see what Skip Bayless or Colin Cowherd tweeted, but we were talking about this on the live stream last night. These people these aren't college football people. Skip Bayless and Colin Cowherd are college football ignorant. Now, they have areas where they excel, NFL, whatever. But these people are college football idiots. Nothing Bill Belichick did in the NFL translates to college football. It's a totally different job. College football head coach and NFL head coach are not the same job at all. But we were talking about this last night on the stream. Some of y'all might have heard it. ESPN's got a ton of problems, but one of the things one big problem I've always had with ESPN is they hire these people who are knowledgeable in a certain area. I think the example we were using last night was Stephen A. Smith. And I know a lot of people don't like Stephen A. Smith. That's not the point. Whether you like Stephen A. Smith or not, like, he is knowledgeable about NBA basketball. You might not agree with all of his opinions or all of his takes when it comes to the NBA, but that's his lane. He's got a ton of connections in the NBA world. He's at all the NBA games. He's been covering the NBA as a writer and then an on-air personality for ESPN for 40 years. Like, he knows NBA basketball. And that's why ESPN hired him 20 years ago or whatever it was. But what ESPN does is they hire these people that are experts or whatever in one certain area, but then they force them to talk about every sport. So, like, you'll see Stephen A. Smith talking college football. He has no idea what he's talking about. And I'm not even saying that about Stephen A. Smith, like to pile on him or whatever, or to shit talk him. That's not his. It would be like somebody bringing me on their YouTube show to talk about Major League Baseball. I don't know anything about Major League Baseball. But ESPN hires these people, and then they force them to be a jack of all trades, and they're not. And there's plenty of other examples of this, too. And it's not just ESPN. You look at Fox, they force Colin Cowherd to talk about college football. Colin Cowherd's a college football idiot, and he always has been, even going back to his days at ESPN. I think it was 2012 or 2013. Colin Cowherd went on this 6-month tirade about how Nick Saban was never going to beat Gus Malzahn ever again. From that moment on, I was like, okay, this guy, now Colin Cowherd, when it comes to the NFL, if I hear Colin Cowherd talking about the NFL, just like with Stephen A. Smith talking about the NBA, I might disagree with his opinion or his take about the NFL, but he clearly knows the NFL. Colin Cowherd does. But he's a college football idiot. Now, Skip Bayless, I've never liked Skip Bayless. So, I it's not that I don't like Colin Cowherd or don't like Stephen A. Smith. With Skip Bayless, I legitimately don't like Skip Bayless. So, any opinion I give on Skip Bayless is probably a little biased, but he's ignorant, too. But no, I didn't see what they tweeted about the game, but Colin Cowherd and whoever else you mentioned there. I mean, these are NFL guys, and they're like, oh, God, Bill Belichick won a bunch of games in the NFL. He's about to dominate college football. It's not the same job. It's not the same job. In the NFL, the talent discrepancy between the best team in the NFL and the worst team in the NFL is minute, tiny. I mean, there is almost no difference at all in overall roster talent from the best team in the NFL to the worst team in the NFL, because the entire NFL is designed that way from the ground up. So in the NFL, things like preparation, scheme, philosophy, play calling, all of that stuff is a million times more important than anything else. In college football, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, and a lot of people wish college football wasn't this way, but it's always been this way. College football is a talent accumulation business. I've been telling y'all this for years. 90% of winning in college football is who has the best players. And Bill Belichick is not about to travel the country, just like Deion Sanders. These people are not about to travel the country sitting on some high school kid's grandma's couch begging them to come to their school. And that's what it takes. And they're not going to do that. And that's why they'll never have the best players. And because they'll never have the best players, they'll never win. I mean, now, that doesn't mean that preparation and play calling and scheme and all that stuff don't matter at all in college football. It does. In the rare occasion where you get two similarly talented teams, then that stuff comes into play. Texas and Ohio State, Clemson versus LSU this past weekend. Then, yeah, coaching staff, scheme, preparation, all of that stuff matters. And you can point to outlying games and say, well, how did this team beat that team if they're less talented? Well, occasionally that's going to happen. But the majority of the time, the more talented team is going to win. Whereas in the NFL, the talent differential between the best team in the league and the worst team in the league is negligible overall. Now, they're going to be a team, Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes. the Saints have whatever garbage can quarterback they have. And obviously Patrick Mahomes is way better than that. But overall, top to bottom on these NFL rosters, there's not a whole lot of gap talent-wise from the best team to the worst. And college football is not that way. And, Herm Edwards was a failure at Arizona State. Urban Meyer was a failure at Jacksonville in the NFL. Saban and Saban and Spurrier failed in the NFL. It's not a translatable skill set. College football head coach to an NFL head coach, they are not translatable skill sets. They're just not. And bringing in an 80-year-old guy who won a bunch of Super Bowls with Tom Brady was never the answer for North Carolina. And why they thought it was, I don't know. They're paying him top 10 money. They're paying him $10 million a year. Why? He hasn't had any association at all with college football since the early 70s. The last time Bill Belichick had anything to do with college football, a lot of schools weren't even segregated or desegregated. So it's no surprise to anybody with a brain that understands college football that North Carolina was in a bad way last night. Anyway, thoughts on week one. What do we think? Who's the best team in the country? Forget rankings and who should be ranked where and this team deserves that. Who's the best team? I know it's pretty much purely a guess after only 1 week, especially when a lot of the teams played terrible, FCS or Group of Five teams. But who's the best team? Is it Ohio State? Is it LSU? Is it Miami? Is it Oregon? Is it Georgia? Is it Penn State? TCU. Yeah, the AP and the coaches poll come out later today. The real rankings, mine, came out yesterday. Yeah, I have no idea who the best team is either. I still don't trust Brian Kelly to win a natty. I mean, they won the game, but he's still with that stupid shit, not kicking field goals in the first half of a no-score game or a one-score game when it's obviously going to be super low scoring. I mean, how many games has Brian Kelly lost at LSU because he refuses to kick field goals in close games, and he did it again against Clemson? Now, no one's going to talk about it because they ended up winning the game, but it was still the wrong decision. Making the wrong decision and having it work out doesn't make the wrong decision right. If you go for it on fourth down and it's the wrong decision, but you convert, that doesn't make it the right decision. The only complaint I have about Georgia from what I saw on Saturday is the run blocking still doesn't look as good as it needs to, in my opinion. And it was really hard to tell about some of the passing game stuff because they played so many wide receivers and nobody had more than 2 catches. And outside of Zachariah Branch, like we didn't, Colby Young, I think, only had one catch. Noah Thomas, they only targeted him, I think, one time. I think once they get into the more meaningful games, you won't see, that amount of rotation at the wide receiver position or the running back position for that matter. Josh McCray, the transfer from Illinois, only had a couple of carries. Robinson didn't play at all. And everybody else had like 5 and 6 carries apiece. That was it. You'll probably see the same thing from Georgia this week against Austin Peay. A rotation of 30 different players on offense and 30 different players on defense in and out of the game from the very beginning. I don't think that will be the case once they get into the meat of their schedule, starting with Tennessee the following week. I think they'll settle on 3 or 4 wide receivers and a couple of running backs that'll get the majority of the carries. But I don't know who that will be. But I thought the defense looked a lot better. I know it was Marshall, but you go back and you watch Georgia's defense last year against FCS or Group of 5 teams, like it was nothing like what we saw Saturday. I mean, they looked a lot better. I don't think we'll ever see a Georgia defense as good as we saw in 21 and 22. We'll probably never see that again. But it was closer to that than it was last year's defense. Yeah, Austin Peay beat a pretty good team, too. I mean, Middle Tennessee State's a decent Group of 5 team, and it wasn't even close. They blew them out. I'm not saying that to say that they're going to give Georgia a game. Georgia should beat Austin Peay by 40. But we'll see. The game's not even on regular TV this week. It's on the streaming, on ESPN Plus or whatever. It's not even on regular TV, the Georgia game this week. I know I was running on empty, though, the last 5 days. It happens every year in week 1, but that's a long 5 days for me. And I didn't do myself any favors by going to Cherokee the day before it all started. I went to Cherokee. I left 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, got to Cherokee at noon, and basically partied from noon till 4 in the morning. Got back home Thursday at 5 o'clock and basically streamed from Thursday night at 7:30 till last night at midnight. I feel like that's all I've done is sleep and live stream since Thursday. I am wore out. And I'm busy again today. Tomorrow, I'm going to take some time off. But I'm busy again today. I got I got 2 videos I got to do today, and then the call-in show tonight. I very rarely bet on NFL games because I very rarely watch them. So every once in a while, I'll have some time to watch the Sunday night game. But the Sunday night game is the only game I ever have any time to watch at all. Sunday, I'm working all day. Monday night, I have the Lunch Money show, so I can't watch Monday Night Football. Thursday night, I have a call-in show, so I can't watch Thursday Night Football. Sunday night is really the only time I ever get to watch any NFL football, so every once in a while, I'll bet on the Sunday night game. Baseball games don't come on TV. I mean, a couple a week. That's it. Sunday night game on ESPN, I think, and like a Saturday afternoon game or something on Fox. But no, I don't watch baseball. I might watch 1 or 2 baseball games a year. I watch more NBA and college basketball than I do Major League Baseball. I've gotten to where I enjoy watching the NBA. Not so much during the regular season. Regular season NBA and postseason NBA almost aren't even the same sport. It's if you watch, you don't even have to be an expert. If you just watch a handful of games in the NBA, you'll notice right away that they are trying so much harder in the postseason. That they almost, especially on defense, like they play no defense at all in the NBA in the regular season anymore. And plus, every game you watch has players sitting out almost. Almost every game you watch has players sitting out in the regular season because of that stupid load management or whatever they do. But postseason NBA basketball is really good. Really good. Postseason NBA basketball reminds me of the basketball I watched as a kid in the 90s. Bama needs to hire Malachi Moore. It was a joke last year, Wayne, about Malachi Moore and how he, yelling at the coaches and all that kind of thing. But honestly, that's what they're missing now. They don't have an alpha on that team. I don't know what has happened. And look, I'm pretty socially liberal and stuff, and I get made fun of a lot for it, and I don't give a shit. I am who I am. I think people should be who they are and all that. But this, football players painting their fingernails and carrying around teddy bears for emotional support is fucking sad. Y'all seen the Ryan Williams video, hadn't you? This guy is carrying around a teddy bear for anxiety to the games. This is Ryan Williams walking into Doak Campbell Stadium. That's not a good luck charm he has in his hands. That's an anxiety doll. He's carrying an anxiety doll. There's nothing tough about that. I mean, football is not the place for that. I've complained about this in other settings, like Cherokee, like the casino in Cherokee. Go up there. There are these people running around with dogs in the casino, pretending that they're emotional support. There's no pets allowed in the casino, just like anywhere else, unless it's your if it's your emotional support animal or whatever, then they have to let you carry it around or whatever. And you got these people running around the casino with these fucking poodles, and I'm just like, if you have so much anxiety that you can't go to the casino without a emotional support dog, then maybe you don't need to be going to the casino. And if you can't play football without an anxiety bear, maybe you don't need to be playing football. I mean, you watch Alabama, man, there's guys jogging around and they're not trying. It's one thing to lose because you're less talented, like North Carolina last night. North Carolina just doesn't have any talent. I didn't watch that game and go, man, these people are lazy. They're not even trying. Like, they were trying. They're just not good enough. That's one thing. Alabama's good enough. And you watch them play, and it's just, it's unbelievable how much the atmosphere and the culture inside of Alabama football has changed in 2 years. Unbelievable. Now, I don't think anybody outside of a handful of idiot Alabama fans thought that they were going to just keep on the exact same pace they were on after Nick Saban. But even the most pessimistic people didn't see this. This is just, I mean, it's pitiful what Alabama has become. It's pitiful. And you got the best player on your team, a guy that should be a leader, should be setting an example for the rest of the team. I mean, he's a second-year guy now. He's not a freshman anymore. And he can't even go to a game without carrying around an anxiety bear. I mean, come on, man. And he's got his painted fingernails and the whole thing. There's nothing tough about that. And football's a tough sport. And whether he's gay or not, I don't care. You can be gay and tough, just like you can be straight and be a giant pussy. Being gay or straight isn't what makes you tough. That's got nothing to do. I don't care who he's fucking, as long as whoever he's fucking is of age. I don't give a shit. But carrying around an anxiety bear and painting your fingernails in a football locker room is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the worst part of it for me anyway, is that they're going to come to Athens in 4 weeks and beat Georgia. You know, I mean, that's just what they do. They weren't very good last year, and they beat Georgia, and they'll probably beat Georgia again. I mean, Bama has become one of these programs like Tennessee or Florida whose, you know, their ceiling is a big regular season win. And for Bama, that game is Georgia. So they'll probably come to Athens and beat Georgia again, and I'll be mad about it. But Georgia's goal isn't to beat Bama or to get one big regular season win. None of Georgia's goals occur in the regular season. So it won't be the end of the world for me or for Georgia if and when that happens, outside of misery for about 24 hours because you have to sit there and suffer through yet another loss to Alabama. But at the end of the year, when Georgia's playing for the SEC championship or preparing for the playoffs, nobody's going to care that they lost to Alabama in September. But for Alabama, just like this offseason, it'll be all they have to point to. I'll be in Vegas this Thursday to Monday. I'm going to the UCLA. But I thought about going to that game, John. I even looked up ticket prices and plane ticket prices and the game ticket prices, because there's if there's one weekend to go out of, if there's one football weekend to go out of town this year, it's this weekend. But I'm not going to do it. But I did think about it. North Carolina going 4-8. I mean, they've got an easy schedule in the ACC, but still, I don't know. Yeah, they're going to struggle to make a bowl game, I think. Ticket prices are 60 to 70 for lower seats. I think all they sell for the UCLA game is lower seats. I don't think they even open up the upper deck for UNLV. I don't even think they open up the upper deck for UNLV games. When I looked for tickets, the only tickets you could buy were lower level tickets. Maybe that's changed. But a few weeks ago when I was looking for tickets to the UNLV UCLA game in Vegas, the only tickets available were in the lower level. And I was like, I guess they don't sell upper level tickets for UNLV games. And like I watched that first UNLV game in week 0, the home game, and there was nobody there. It definitely wasn't sold out. I mean, the lower deck was half empty, and they never showed the upper deck. So maybe they might not even sell upper deck tickets for the UNLV games. You know, UCLA does that too. UCLA puts a tarp over the upper deck. But no, I won't be making any more Vegas trips till after the season, that January trip after the season. was 59 degrees here this morning. 59 degrees here this morning. Yeah, I've heard some other Bama fans complaining about Kalen DeBoer's demeanor. You know, Mark Richt was that way. Jarvis. I don't know if you watched very many Mark Richt post-game press conferences, but I used to complain about this all the time. If you watched a Mark Richt post-game press conference, you wouldn't know whether Georgia won or lost. You'd have no idea. Like, his demeanor was exactly the same if they got blown out by 40 or if they beat a top 5 team at home. He just no emotion, no, he never got excited. I didn't like that either. I used to complain about that all the time. Yeah, it's going to get up into the 80s this week, but it was 59 this morning. Yeah, this is his 10th year. Hadn't lost more than 2 games in a regular season since his first year. Florida played literally one of the worst teams in the country at any level in Long Island. That doesn't mean Florida's not any good. I'm just saying everybody talks about who everybody plays. Florida literally played one of the worst football teams at any college level in all of America. The exercise is fine. It fell off some over the last 5 days because I was so busy with. 5 straight days of games is a lot, but I'll get back on the regular routine today. Yeah, like the Montana State or whatever that Oregon played would beat Long Island just as bad as Florida did. Like, they're terrible. They're really bad. Marshall would beat the soul out of Long Island. Like, Long Island is really bad. Yeah, you don't want to play a pissed off Bama. The more to lose, the better to get. Yeah. Alabama will beat Louisiana Monroe this weekend by 4 touchdowns or whatever, and then we're going to have to listen to the Alabama fans say that if they could play Florida State again, they'd beat them, and that'll be the talking point, because you know how the whole hypothetical deal. My question is, was Texas and OSU defense really that good, or was their offense really that bad? The defenses were really that good. Those are 2 NFL defenses. Same thing with LSU and Clemson, by the way. You take those 2 games, Ohio State, Texas, LSU, Clemson, 11 starters on defense for each team. That's 44 players. And then let's say there's another 15 or 16 players that rotate in consistently. So let's say the 60 best players defensively for those 4 teams. How many of those 60 do you think are getting drafted eventually? 40? 45? Those are 4 NFL defenses. So of those 4 teams, the only offense I would be concerned about coming out of those games is Clemson, because I do think Clemson has some serious issues on the offensive line and at running back, which were the 2 questions about Clemson heading into the season, offensive line and running back, and both looked terrible. Texas and Ohio State are going to average 40 points a game. LSU is going to average 30 points a game. They play. Those offenses are going to be fine. Clemson is the only one that may potentially have some issues. But I think Texas will be fine. Ohio State will be fine. Offensively, I think LSU will be fine. I even think Cade Klubnik will be fine. I still like Cade Klubnik. I still like Clemson's wide receivers. Cade Klubnik had no time to throw the ball. None. That Clemson offensive line is horrendous. They got big issues. They got big issues on the offensive line. Saturday lock, Virginia +3 versus NC State. Virginia looked pretty good. I bet Virginia this past weekend and hit. I forget what the spread was, but I took Virginia this past weekend and hit on them. I didn't bet the NC State game, but they beat, NC State beat, was it East Carolina that NC State beat? So both teams won, yeah. I haven't really looked at, I looked at the schedule of games yesterday. Week 2 is getting a bad rap, too. Like, people have been dunking on Week 2 all offseason. Oh, this is terrible. There's only one good game, Michigan and Oklahoma. Maybe there's only one marquee matchup, Michigan and Oklahoma, 2 big names playing each other. But there's a handful of pretty interesting games. The Missouri-Kansas game is going to be the most entertaining game of the season so far, I think. All the complaining that people did about no offense in the Ohio State, Texas, and LSU Clemson game, watch the Kansas-Missouri game. They might score 80 points in that game. That's my favorite bet of the week is Kansas-Missouri over. In fact, I'm fixing to bet it right now before the line goes up because I know the line's going to go up. Let's take a look at the lines on some of the. Here's the Virginia-North Carolina State game, Virginia +3. You say that's the lock of the week? Iowa State. Where's the over-unders? The over-unders aren't on here yet? Oh, come on. What is this gypsy doing? I can't even bet the over-under on Kansas, Missouri. It's not on here yet. But anyway, look at the games are better than people are giving it credit for. I think James Madison in Louisville might be a good game. James Madison's a serious football program. They've dumped a bazillion dollars into that football program in the last couple of years. They're going to be a good group of 5 team this year. Louisville better not be overlooking this game. That's the Friday night game. I'm probably going to stream this game, mostly because I want to see Louisville. I want to see if can they win the ACC. I want to watch. I'm probably going to stream this game Friday night. But then Saturday you got the Virginia-North Carolina State game. You've got Iowa State. I want to take the under in this game, but I don't know why it's not out yet. It better come out today on here. The lines are out. I don't know why they're not on here. The over-unders are out. I don't know why they're not on this site. But anyway, I'm going to take the under in Iowa State. I don't even care what it is. I'm going to take the under. You know the final score is going to be 9-7 or something. but that's a good game. Baylor SMU, I think, is a good game. I'm tempted to take Baylor in that one. +3. Illinois and Duke is going to be a good game. 2 9-win teams from a year ago. That's going to be a good one. I like Illinois -3. I wonder if I might go ahead and bet that one too. Ole Miss and Kentucky. Kentucky only had one SEC win last year, and it was against Ole Miss. I like Ole Miss -10 in that one. I'm not going to bet it yet, but Kansas and Missouri. I'll take Kansas +6. Oklahoma State and Oregon. Gundy for Oklahoma State's a fucking moron. I used to like him. The more he talks now, the more I hate him. You still in here, David? Did you hear the dumb shit that Gundy said about this game? I'm gonna bet those games now. Fuck it. Did you hear the dumb shit he said? Gundy said he was complaining about having to play Oregon because Oregon spends more money on their football program than Oklahoma State does. He said non-con games should be matched up according to how much money teams spend on their program, and Oregon or Oklahoma State shouldn't have to play Oregon because Oregon spends more money on their football program than Oklahoma State does. But guess who Oklahoma State played last week? UT Martin. Well, who do you think spends more money on their football program between Oklahoma State and UT Martin? So it's not that Gundy thinks teams should be matched up based on how much they spend. It's just that he doesn't want to play somebody that spends more. He wants to beat up on people that spend less, though. The guy's become a clown. Gundy has become a complete fucking clown. I hate to bring this. You know what ruined Gundy? COVID. Gundy got all wrapped up in the political shit during COVID, and it ruined him as a coach and as a human. I don't like him anymore. Fuck him. Fuck Gundy. I hope they have another terrible year. So. And Oregon will beat the shit out of them anyway. Regardless of what Gundy said or didn't say, Oregon will beat the shit out of them anyway. Oregon's a legit top 10 team, and Oklahoma State will struggle to make a bowl again. Politics ruin most humans. Well, they might be top 5, but nobody will argue that they're top 10. So, yeah, but back to the schedule of games, because week 2 is getting a bad rap. So where'd we, Iowa, Iowa State, Baylor, SMU, Illinois, Duke, Ole Miss and Kentucky, Kansas and Missouri. I mean, these are good games. Oklahoma State and Oregon. South Florida and Florida. I mean, South Florida beat the soul out of Boise State. I mean, Florida should still win this game fairly easily, but this is a much more interesting game than it looked 2 weeks ago. Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech. Michigan and Oklahoma, Arizona State, Mississippi State, UCLA and UNLV. I mean, it's not as bad of a slate of games as people made it out to be all off season. Does it compare to week one? No, but no, week one was amazing. But there's plenty of games worth watching at all three time slots. The line is UCLA minus 2.5. Yes. I'll obviously be taking UNLV. In fact, I'll bet UNLV right now. All right, so that's four bets I have in already for this weekend's games. I have UNLV plus 2.5, Kansas plus 6, Illinois minus 3, and Virginia plus 3. 17 points was the spread on South Florida and Florida. Good morning, Lou. I just made a video recapping Grandpa Bill's loss last night. I'll be sure and check that out, Ballard. Opening week was great, Dario. No complaints from me. Other than being, I'm so tired I can't see straight. But other than that, I'm good. I worked more hours in the last 6 days than I worked the whole month before that. I'm not complaining. I love this time of year, and I have to work a lot of hours this time of year. But I got to make it through today. I got to do 2 videos today and the call-in show tonight. But then tomorrow, I might sleep all day. I had a good time on the North Carolina stream last night. We pretty much quit watching the game in the second half. I mean, I still had it on, but I mean, we weren't even really talking about the game, but we were just kind of talking about everything else, all of week one and everything. But I had a good time on the stream last night, and that's not always the case when the game that's on is terrible. But there was 1,200 people in there watching that stream, watching the North Carolina TCU stream last night. There was 1,200 people in there. That's a lot for my channel. That's more than normal. It's more than a normal stream. I mean, there's been a handful of times in big games where it's got up to 30 and 40,000. But the average game is less. The views that I get, the live views I get on average are less than what they were last night. Miami might be ass, Octavian, but what does that make Florida that lost? Miami's definitely not ass. There's nobody, I don't see how anybody watched that Miami game and thinks they're not any good. That's crazy. Because Notre Dame is good. You got to be careful about these overreactions, like Arch Manning is terrible and Texas has no offense. Well, they outgained Ohio State. I mean, did you watch the game? Was Arch Manning a Heisman quarterback? No, but that was ridiculous to start with. But Texas outgained Ohio State. So if Texas offense is terrible, what do you think about Ohio State's offense? And do you really believe that Ohio State's offense is terrible? No, those might be the 2 best defenses in football, Texas and Ohio State. Texas got inside the 10-yard line twice and didn't score. That's why they lost the game. Not because Arch Manning is terrible. Did Arch Manning play great? No. Did Julian Sand? No. Did Cade Klubnik? No. Nussmeier probably played the best of those four. I'm praying for the Bama fans this weekend. They play Louisiana Monroe this weekend. And they're not firing Kalen DeBoer. People need to stop it. It's not happening. Kalen DeBoer's buyout is $77 million. Kalen DeBoer will be the head coach at Alabama for every game this year and every game next year at a minimum. Now, he may quit. But Alabama's not paying a $77 million buyout. That's not happening. Now that these schools have to pay rev share, $21 million a year to the players, you're not going to see any more of these $50, $60, $70 million buyouts. That's over. Only 3 Power 4 coaches got fired last year. That's it. Only 3. It's not because there was only 3 bad coaches. It's because nobody wants to pay buyouts anymore. Of the 3 coaches that were fired last year, you know what the highest buyout was? $9 million. The highest buyout paid last year was $9 million. And only 3 coaches got fired. It's why Billy Napier still has a job. These schools are done paying these $50, $60, and $70 million buyouts because they got to pay the players now. Who would Bama get? Oh, they want Lane Kiffin. They want John Gruden. They want Matt Campbell. I mean, it's like Tennessee wanting Sam Leavitt and Tennessee wanting Rocco Becht and Avery Johnson. And you can want whatever you want. You're not getting it. I think Mac Brown was the highest buyout at $9 million. I don't know what Neil Brown's was. Whatever it was. Neil Brown's was $9 million or less, though, because the highest buyout paid was $9 million. I don't know whether it was Neil Brown or Mac Brown. The other coach fired, I guess, was the Purdue coach. Yeah, they want Kirby. Well, everybody wants Kirby. Now, they can fire Kane Womack. They can fire Kane Womack. You know, if they want to do something just to like prove to the fans that they're making changes and they're doing something, they can fire Kane Womack. They're not firing Ryan Grubb. They just brought him in. I mean, this was Ryan Grubb's first game as offensive coordinator. They're not firing him. They could fire Kane Womack. Yeah, that's the DC, Kane Womack. But they're not firing DeBoer. Alabama's 5-5 in their last 10 games, y'all. Alabama is 5-5 in their last 10 games. Kalen DeBoer in 14 games at Alabama. In 14 games at Alabama, Kalen DeBoer has lost to 4 unranked teams. It took Nick Saban 258 games to lose to 4 unranked teams. Kalen DeBoer did it in 14 games. Ryan Williams transfer. Southern Cal would be a good spot for him. He can go play with Nico at UCLA or something. That would be, I mean, Nico wears a dress. Caleb Williams paints his fingernails at Southern Cal. Ryan Williams is carrying around a fucking teddy bear. That they can go out fucking UCLA or Southern Cal or something. That carrying a teddy bear into the fucking stadium is... I told you, it's not even Alabama anymore. It's Alabama from now on. It's Alabama. I mean, if I'd have saw this before the game, this is an automatic L. If I would have saw this before the game, I would have changed my pick. What in the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? An anxiety bear? This motherfucker is carrying around a stuffed animal for anxiety. What are you doing? This is football, bud. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but nobody cares about your feelings here. I mean, you're supposed to be the best player on that team, a leader, a second-year guy. You're carrying a fucking teddy bear for anxiety. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, it's an emotional support doll for his anxiety. Jeremiah Smith was always better than Ryan. There hasn't been a day that either one of those two people have been alive where Jeremiah Smith wasn't a better wide receiver than Ryan Williams. Ryan Williams is a great wide receiver. Jeremiah Smith is better. What's funny is the Bama player that had the pacifier now plays for Florida State. Binky Williams. He had 6 carries for 14 yards on Saturday against Alabama. Roy Dell Williams is his name. Binky Williams with the pacifier routine. He plays for Florida State now. 6 carries for 14 yards against Alabama on Saturday. So, I don't know. They play Louisiana Monroe at home. Then they play Wisconsin at home. Then they have a bye week. And then they play at Georgia. So they got 3 weeks to figure it out. There's nothing cool about a football player carrying a teddy bear into an opposing team's stadium for anxiety. There's nothing cool about that. Nothing cool about that. Yeah, the Miami-Florida State game will finally be big again this year. If Williams can get some popularity behind it, he will sell a ton of bears. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit how many teddy bears he sells or how much fingernail polish he sells. I don't care about any of that. I care about what he does on Saturdays in the fall. That's it. And he didn't do much this past Saturday. And is there an Alabama fan on the planet that can explain to me why the fuck Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer have Ryan Williams playing slot receiver? What in the fuck? Why? He's not a slot receiver. He didn't play slot last year. Why in the world do they have him lining up in the slot on every play? It's retarded. Is that also because of his anxiety? Does he have less anxiety if he plays in the slot? I appreciate that, Junkyard Dog. I have a great time hanging out with y'all and doing and watching those games. It just was a lot of them in a row that beat me down. My voice, you probably hear my voice is all raspy and scratchy. Yep, I still think so too, Jay, with the Brian Kelly thing. I feel like he's probably going to blow a game or two when it matters the most. Joe Namath. I don't know about that. Is he even alive? Hell, is Kalen DeBoer even alive? I like Illinois in that one. I watched the Bill Belichick post-game press conference this morning before the show. It's the same as every New England Patriots press conference. He just stands there with a blank look on his face and, same monotone voice. It was nothing really. I don't know anything about DeBoer's teeth. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. Like, as good as LSU looked and as bad as Bama looked, like, does anybody really feel confident about Brian Kelly going into Tuscaloosa and beating Bama? I mean, I don't feel confident about Georgia beating Bama at home. I'm so scarred from Bama. And yeah, they look terrible, but like, it's not like I watched that Bama game and then went, oh yeah, Georgia's definitely beating them. I mean, Georgia's been better than Bama several times and lost to them. So, I mean, and the thing with a team like Bama, we talked about this at the top of the show. It's not a North Carolina situation where they just don't have any talent at all. Alabama is going to be the most talented team in every game they play. So if it ever comes together, it's like look at the first half last year against Georgia. Alabama first half against Georgia last year. That's the same Alabama team that couldn't get a first down against Vanderbilt. When they decide or when they put it together and when they're bought in and prepared and ready to go, I mean, they're going to be tough for anybody to beat because they're, on a player-by-player basis, they are supremely talented. But something is wrong with the culture or the attitude or something around the program that's got them up and down like that, And this is another tip of the cap to Saban, by the way, because one of the things I used to talk about with Saban all the time is one of the things that was most impressive about Saban is that he was able to get Alabama to play at 90% or better almost every week for 15 years. And that's hard to do for any coach, even in one season. That's why you see things like Alabama lose to Vandy now. It's extremely difficult as a coach to get your team to play at their best week in and week out. It is extremely difficult to do. Kirby is pretty good at that. He's not as good as Saban, but he's pretty good at that. Part of that, and it started with Saban, is the whole, we don't care who we're playing. We have a standard. We play to a standard. And Kirby has copied that word for word. He says it all the time. We play to a standard. You know, we're not trying to play each week a little bit better than our opponent. We have a certain level we want to play at. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We have a certain level, and we want to play at that level. And it is hard, no matter how talented your team is, it is hard to get your team to play at that high of a level week in, week out, week after week, year after year. And Saban had figured out a way to do it. DeBoer clearly has not. Even going back to last year, again, look what they did to Georgia in the first half. Look at what they did to a pretty good LSU team at LSU. They beat LSU by 40. They made LSU look like a middle school team. They beat LSU for 4 quarters like they beat Georgia for the first half. Like they played the whole game against LSU like they played the first half against Georgia. And then they go out and they can't get a first down against 2 of the worst teams in the league, Vandy and Oklahoma. They go to a bowl game and don't get off the bus against Michigan, a bad Michigan team. And then they start this season with one of the worst performances I've seen from Alabama since the early 2000s. I mean, it was horrible. All right, Ballard, take it easy, buddy. Yeah, they haven't dropped off in recruiting. The talent level is pretty close to what it was when Saban was there most years. It's the philosophy and the culture that has changed. And, you know, maybe some of that has to do with NIL. You know, maybe it's harder to motivate players when they got $1 million in their pocket than it is when they're trying to earn $1 million. You know, for a long time, college football players played college football for an opportunity to earn millions of dollars. Now, in a lot of cases, they're getting millions of dollars to play college football. So that maybe that's got something to do with it, but that's something that every team is facing and dealing with. And it seems to be affecting some teams more than others, but I mean, it's been fun for the last couple of days to sort of rag on Bama a little bit because they look so bad or whatever, but I guarantee you one thing. There's not a single team on Alabama's schedule whose fan base is, if they're being honest with themselves, is sitting there and going, oh, yeah, I'm not worried about the Alabama game now after what I saw. I promise you. Every fan base that plays Bama is still worried about playing Bama because if you're not, you're just an idiot because they are extremely talented. And if they decide one week that they want to put it on somebody, they probably will. No, Spank, no. I mean, Noah Thomas was only targeted once. Colby Young only had 1 catch. They played 11 different receivers. I don't think that was anything as far as the play calling with the passing game. I don't think that was anything close to what you'll see once the real games start. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. It's been a while since I did the morning show, though. So Took some days off last week, and of course yesterday being a holiday, so I wanted to get back on here this morning. But I'm going to get out of here. I got a couple of videos to do today. I got a sort of part 2 of the Your Season Is Over video to do, just talking about the Sunday and the Monday games. And call-in show tonight at 9. So I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate y'all tuning in this morning. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so no morning show, no live shows at all tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you tonight at 9. You know, give me a call. We'll talk about week 1. We'll look forward to week 2, whatever it is y'all want to talk about tonight on the call-in show at 9. And I'll see you back here on the morning show Thursday morning. I hope y'all enjoyed your Labor Day weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you tonight at 9 o'clock for the call-in show. Have a good morning.